Hey, Shalom, Shalom. I want to give all praises due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruha, Wakakudash, and double honors to the apostles at Great Millstone, and to the bishops and elders in Connecticut, and to the high priest that taught our apostles. You know, this y'all Demai from the Great Millstone, Houston. And I'm going to come to you with a lesson, with a little history lesson, right? Dealing with our people, and you can see we're going to this book, a little bit of it called Nature Knows No Color Line, right? By J.A. Rogers. Let's get into it, showing you that our people was ruling, right? You see it, Negroes in coats of arms of noble families, right? Blackmore, urgent feast between three black Moors heads erased. Say what those, you know, I'm just reading a little bit of that. Just showing, you want to show some images though. British families, you know, from top left, just showing you Yorkshire now, you know. But this is what our people, you know, don't know that's in our history. All they know about is, you know, so-called blacks being enslaved ships and stuff like that, you know. But, you know, we was ruling once upon a time in Europe and everything, you know. Just showing you some more, you know, images in this book. It says French, Dutch, and Belgian families with names of Negroes, right? Negroes in coats of arms. Names of these families, except three, denote Negro as ancestry. Yeah. So yeah, you can see some more pics right there. German families with names of Negro origin. Let me see something. So, I want to read something. This is the one. I read this one. The rights thou, you know, the so-called rights, the rights thou marriage with the Moors and honor, right? Moors, okay, they, you know, the rights thou marriage with the Moors and honor. Moors were then the foremost power in Europe, see? They were the conquerors, and the whites, they were the conquerors and the whites the conquered. See, in such a case, says Roy Nash, it would be an honor. It would be an honor for the white to mate or marry with the governing class. Yeah, with Jake. See. And that's when Esau didn't really have no power, you know, back then, so-called dark ages. And let's read this one I seen. It's called A. Zimmerman says, the Greeks thought Negroes very interesting looking people and were amused at their woolly hair. But they show no trace of color prejudice. Yeah, so it was amazing, Jake. Just getting certain little spots in this book, you know. And yeah, as you can see, man, we ruled at a point in time. This, you know, they didn't show us this in school, you know. Things like that in this nation. They ain't gonna show it. Right? What's that? Get the page. See, check out 122. Let's see. Yeah, let's check this one out. It says whites and blacks in Italy. That's page 122. And it says, as a result of the importation of Negroes, many Southern Italians and Greeks in the 18th century were so dark that when Napoleon ran short of Negroes for his black brigades, he used them. Sicilians were then much darker than now. See, you know, a lot of our people, man, they from, you know, Italians and Sicily, man, that's really our people. Some of them know it, some of them don't. American Negro soldiers in the Second World War had a number of children by Italian women. See? Yeah. And like I said, most of these Italian and Sicilian people, man, they jakes. You know? Look like Edomite. It says Russia. That's what it says. Peter the Great with one of his Negro favorites by Schonerich. If I'm saying that right. But yeah, but check this out, right? In Germany, you know, when Jake was out there, man, he was getting with these, you know, what appears to be an Edomite woman. You know, they was popping them in Germany, you know, see? Brown babies, let's see what it says. Offspring of Negro fat fathers and white mothers. Upper right. What's that? Moroccan father. Yeah. Moroccan father. World War I. Afro-American photos. But you see the babies, right? It's pretty much brown babies. See that? See, children of Negro soldiers by white mothers. Afro-American photos. Yeah. And that's why, man, these women out there in Germany right now, they love Jake. You know, they love Jake, man. Go out there now, that's why you go to these other countries, man, they treat Jake like they're kings. Just more images. I'm gonna pull out some precepts in a minute. I'm gonna get to the last little point though. Trying to hold my phone. Yeah, this one. Check this one out. And it says, right? Because you had them, you know, them so-called Edomite, well, not so-called, but so-called white women. Man, they was in love with Jake. It says, to hell with the U.S. Army color bars. We want our colored sweethearts, right? Shouted hundreds of English girls who tried to break into an American Army camp at Bristol, when the colored, when the colored troops who recently arrived in this country from Germany were about to embark for America. Yeah, man. And so they were shouting for their colored sweethearts, you know. Look, picture you see, Jake Mingling. Just some beautiful looking, like, you know, white women, so-called white women. And they could be Jake, you know, could be Jake, but you know, they look apparent, you know, I mean, they look pretty good, they look okay. Jake, but yeah, you know, our people, man, you know, we was noble people, you know, just going back, you know, hey, Negroes, coats of arms. Our people, man, you know, they special people, and let's get it, you know. They've been, you know, dispersed and everything to different countries, and like I said, we was ruling England, at, you know, Europe and all that at the time. Even going back, so yeah, let's get a few precepts, right? And just going into like our people being scattered and everything. Right here. Let's get Deuteronomy 28 and 64. And Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, shall scatter thee among all people from, let's read it again, Deuteronomy 28 and 64. And the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Right? You know, yeah, when we got scattered and got into, you know, a lot of things, you know, and you know, the whole thing about being a Moor really was an example. You know, really, you know, our people, you know, they was calling themselves Moors, but you know, they Israelites at the end of the day. You know, but you know, all of all, you know, they was ruling, you know, because we were special people, right? And let's get, let's see, let's go to Deuteronomy. Oh man, come on, hit this phone. Yes, so I can bear with me. Deuteronomy 4 and 6. Deuteronomy 4 and 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, right? Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. See? Verse 7. For what nation is there so great? Right? There ain't no other nation out here greater than the Israelites. You know? Who had Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua power, so not unto them as Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua our power is in all things that we call upon him for, right? And what nation is there so great that has statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law which I sent before you this day? Yeah, so, you know, by us having these laws and statutes that Yahweh gave us through Moses, you know, hey, we special people. And he commanded us to keep those statutes, you know, laws and statutes, you know, because we was a great people. Still are great people. And it goes, you know, even to the day, starting with the elect, the hopeful elect, the brothers that's out there teaching, you know. So, and showing you, you know, what nation was so great. Our people is great. So let's get Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Hold on, get this one. 7 and 6. Deuteronomy 7:6, and it reads, "For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh Bashim Shai, thy power. Yahweh Bashim Shai, thy power, had chosen thee to be a special people unto himself." Right? And you see this, right? Even though we wasn't really keeping, his statues as that much as back in those times, but still, it's just showing you we were special people in the dark ages. Who was ruling, right? And let's read that again. Deuteronomy 7:6. "For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh Bashim Shai, thy power. Yahweh Bashim Shai, thy power, had chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth." See, he's special than all these other people, all these other nations, and you can see like a small example of that right now. This book I'm showing you, so yeah, yeah, that's what it is. So, if you get a chance, get this book, Yeah. So, man, I hope it's been edifying to the point, I want to give all praises due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahal, Kakodash, and double honors to the apostles at Great Millstone, the bishops and elders in Connecticut, and to the high priest that taught our apostles. Until next time, Shalom.